have to make a confession today. We are leaving Bali. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Laura. I'm a finance coach and entrepreneur based in Bali, and on this channel we explore the tools and strategies that help us to live happier and richer lives. Today I will tell you why I'm leaving Bali after 1.5 years. If you have watched previous videos, you know that I love Bali and I can't even stop talking about how much I actually love it. So the news might be quite surprising, but we actually never set out to live in Bali in the first place, and our time here always came with kind of a deadline. And while we enjoyed the time here in Bali, it is time for us to move on. I've told our story before in a couple of videos, but if you missed it, we were actually supposed to move to Australia in April 2020. We sold everything in Germany, we rented out our apartment, but then the pandemic hit and a travel ban was announced and our visa didn't come in time. So we decided that we don't want to stay in Germany anyway, so we came to Bali in December 2020 and just waited here for our visa to finally arrive. And in February 2022, our visa for Australia actually came. So this is actually the main reason why we are leaving Bali, because our plans that we had before the pandemic are getting real now. And even though in the beginning, when our visa was finally here, I was like, am I even ready to leave Bali? I have to say that the last few weeks and months, there have been some things bothering me a bit. So this is why I'm now actually excited to leave and start a new chapter of my life. I really don't want to complain in this video. It's just my personal view and my personal needs that I'm talking about in this video, and everybody is different, of course. I have a lot of friends that are not bothered by all these things and still choose to live here in Bali. But I just want to be real and honest with you and share my personal opinions. Living in Bali is not always rainbows and butterflies, and I will share the downsides that we experienced and why we are actually happy to leave Bali now. But before I get started, please make sure to hit the like button if you like these types of videos, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other content. Your support means a lot to me. All right, let's get started. Number one, constantly moving. Since we didn't really know how long we will be staying, we kind of always thought in 3 months ahead. So usually we booked apartments or villas for 3 months, and then maybe we extended them or looked for another place, which is quite time consuming and exhausting. Even though we just came here with 2 suitcases, when you live in a place, you accumulate some things, even if it's just stuff in the kitchen or like any other stuff that you just have when you live somewhere. Of course, it's not as much as when we lived in Germany, where we had a lot of stuff and furniture. It's a lot less, but still, you have to pack everything together, you have to unpack, and usually it takes a day to do all of this, or maybe even 2 days. That's still not that much concerning you move houses, but it's still very exhausting if you do this every 3 months. Of course, if you come here and know that you will be staying a year or longer, you can look for a yearly rental, which would have been really smart, but we didn't know how long we would be staying. So we had these short-term rentals. And also, if you move constantly, you don't really have a home. It doesn't feel like your home. You will feel, comfortable in most places, but they don't feel like they are your home because you know you will be moving soon anyways. Number two, tourism is back. It's getting a lot busier here in Bali. And while I'm really happy for Bali itself and for all the locals that they can work again, that they earn money again in all the hotels and cafes and restaurants, it's really busy compared to what it was during the whole pandemic. It means it's louder, it's just busier at all the cafes, at the beach, and tourists are acting a little bit different than expats. They don't really have that much respect. They are just here to have a good time. I mean, of course, not all of them, but a lot of them are just here like YOLO. I want to drink, I want to party, I want to do this. They are loud, and that's not really nice. And villas here in Bali have very thin walls. So if you live in a busy area, you will hear everything. And since it's getting busier and tourists are back, things are also getting a lot more expensive. While it was very easy to find cheap accommodation last year during the pandemic, it's getting a lot harder now. We actually had to move for our last month here in Bali, and we were shocked because I remember last year all the hotels around were doing monthly rentals and it was really affordable. So we thought, all right, for the last month we just get a nice hotel room with a nice view that is spacious. It's not that bad that we won't have a kitchen, it's okay, but we didn't really want to look that much and put that much effort into this last month. So we texted all the hotels and they were like, well, we are not doing monthly rentals anymore. If you want to stay, you can pay our nightly rate. And for most of them, this was more than triple the price than it was during the pandemic. I mean, I get it. They want to make money and they deserve that. But it's just something to keep in mind when you want to come here and want to stay here for a month, 2 or 3, that it's not that easy anymore to find cheap accommodation. And of course, also a nice one, because we don't just want a cheap accommodation, we want a nice one as well. We found something at an acceptable rate, but there's a downside to that too. It has a construction next door, so it's probably quite loud. We haven't moved in yet. I'm pre-filming this video, but I will keep you up to date how that will work out. Well, we just go out every day. I think it will be fine, but we'll see. Number 4, I don't want to eat out anymore. This is something really spoiled to say, I guess, but living here in Bali, it's very common to only eat out and actually never cook. Most of my friends that live here, they never cook or very rarely because it's just so convenient to eat out. It's inexpensive, it's fast, you save a lot of time. There are also lots of healthy options around. And since the convenience is so high, you just don't feel like cooking anymore. And I have to say, I enjoyed this for quite some months, but now after 1.5 years, I really don't want to eat out anymore. I really look forward to cooking myself again, to make myself easy and healthy meals at home, to go grocery shopping and just know what I put into my food, because even there are healthy options around, you never really know what they actually put inside, what oils they use, and all these kind of things. And I actually always loved cooking, so it was really strange to actually don't cook anymore. Number 5, I really look forward to just having a home again. I look forward to cooking myself, to have like my own space that I decorated, that I furnished, where I just feel at home. This is really weird because before we had that home, we had a gorgeous apartment in Frankfurt in Germany, and I loved this apartment, but I was also always feeling that I want to be flexible. I just want to move around. I just want to travel. And it's kind of cool because now I can say we did this, but now I also realized how much I really need a home base, a place that I call my home where I can just unwind and relax. Also having a proper kitchen with all the equipment that I need to cook nice foods, and then setting up a productive routine for myself. Because this is something else, number 6, with every move, you have to find yourself a routine all over again, because every apartment or every villa is different, and then it's in a different location, and then you have to figure out first how your ideal routine around that place will be. So in some places, I did a beach walk every morning. In other places, it was just so convenient to do something else in the morning. So it's been shifting with every move, and every like 3 months, I needed to find a completely different routine for myself all over again. And this is also kind of exhausting. And number 7, the climate. I love the sunshine, and I love that the sun is shining every day and that it's warm and that you don't have to wear like a winter coat and it's not getting like super cold. But the climate here for me is a little bit too hot and too humid. During the day, it's almost impossible to do anything for me because it's just way too hot, and I just find myself just wanting to sit in AC all day. And this is also not the greatest thing, I think. Of course, living in Bali has a ton of benefits as well, and I mentioned them over and over and over again in my previous videos. I just created a Bali playlist that I will link here for you so you can check all of the benefits out. But for us personally, the negatives have started to outweigh the positives. And we are very excited to start a new chapter of our lives in Australia. Don't get me wrong here, I really love Bali still, and I don't complain. It's just my personal opinions and why we are choosing to leave the island. I'm still incredibly grateful we got to experience Bali and dive deep into the culture, and also had the best timing ever during the pandemic because it was just so peaceful and quiet here. We always wanted to travel around and just live anywhere we wanted when we were back in Germany, and this is exactly what we did, and I'm very, very grateful we got to do this. But as tourists come back and it's getting busier and busier here in Bali, I feel it's time for us to finally move on. I am really happy though for Bali and also the locals that tourists are back and that they can actually make some money again. So what do you think? Could you imagine living in Bali with all these downsides still, or not that much? I will definitely keep you up to date with our journey. We will be first going back to Germany for 3 weeks to visit family, and then we're setting out to settle in Australia. I'm so excited. If you have any specific videos that you would like to see during the next weeks and months, please let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe if you like me and these types of videos, because then you will not miss another video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.